Hey everyone, welcome back to Everyday English Pod. We've got a really fun one for you today.
Yeah, this is a good one. We're going to be talking about vocabulary.
Yeah, and specifically how to really, supercharge it. Exactly. That's the word I was looking for. How to really boost your English vocabulary effectively.
Yeah.
Because,
It really is the foundation. I mean, you think about it.
Yeah.
If you don't have the words, you can't say what you want to say.
It's true. I mean, you can try it, but you're really limited, right?
Oh, yeah.
If you only have a few words to work with.
It's like, like a painter with only like 3 colors.
Totally.
Versus a painter who has the whole spectrum.
A full palette.
You can express yourself so much better. And you can understand so much more, too, right?
Oh, absolutely. Like, imagine trying to read a book or, even just a news article.
Yeah.
With a really limited vocabulary. I mean, it would be a struggle.
It'd be like every other word, you're like, what?
Totally. And not just reading. Think about conversations, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
If you're constantly searching for the right word, it's hard to keep the conversation flowing.
That's awkward.
It is. And it can really knock your confidence too.
Yeah. It makes you like less likely to even want to speak up.
So true. So true. But what's interesting? I've noticed this myself.
What's that?
When I'm learning a new language.
Yeah.
And my vocabulary starts to grow.
Uh-huh.
I actually start to think in that language more.
Oh, yeah.
It's weird. Like, I don't have to translate in my head as much.
You bypass that whole step.
Exactly.
And you start to think more naturally in English.
And it makes everything like so much faster and easier and smoother.
And then think about writing too.
Oh, yeah.
If you have a rich vocabulary, your writing just becomes
way better.
More vibrant, more interesting.
You can be more precise.
Yeah.
You can really get your point across effectively.
Yeah. And you can make it fun for the reader.
Engage them.
Totally.
Absolutely. And I think, beyond just the practical stuff, the communication, the reading, the writing, it's also about
the nuance.
The nuance.
Yeah.
Like, understanding humor.
Oh, yeah.
Idioms.
Those cultural references.
Yeah. All that stuff that really makes English, fun and interesting and colorful.
It makes you feel like you're really part of the culture.
Exactly. So today, what we want to do is we want to give you some
practical tools.
Practical tools. That's the word, to help you
expand that vocabulary.
Expand that vocabulary.
Right.
We're trying to make it fun, engaging, something that you can actually use, in
the real world.
In the real world, exactly.
Yeah. So let's get started.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
What's our first strategy here?
Well, you got to start with the classic.
Okay.
Reading.
Reading, of course.
The OG of vocabulary building.
Yeah. Why is reading so effective?
Well, think about it. When you read, you're encountering new words naturally.
Right. In context. You see how they're used in sentences.
It's not just a list of words.
Exactly.
It's in a story. It's in an article.
It makes it so much easier to understand the meaning.
And remember the word, too, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And what's really cool is that when you read, especially like longer things, you often see the same words over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
But in slightly different situations.
Right.
So that repetition, it's not boring. It actually helps your brain remember the word better.
Mm-hmm. It's like it's reinforcing it.
Exactly.
And it helps you see like the different ways a word can be used.
Yeah, the different shades of meaning.
Totally. Totally. And you know what else I think is cool about reading?
What's that?
You're also like absorbing grammar without even realizing it.
Oh, yeah.
You're seeing how sentences are structured.
It's like osmosis for grammar.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
So, okay, reading, great. But, what are some tips for people who are like, okay, I want to read, but where do I start? Well, I think the most important thing is to choose material that's at your level.
Right. Don't go too hard too fast.
Exactly. Because if it's too difficult, you'll get discouraged.
Totally. Yeah.
So maybe start with like graded readers.
Yeah, those are specifically designed for language learners.
Yeah. Or articles written for, English as a second language students.
Yeah, good point.
And as you get better, you can gradually move on to more challenging stuff.
Totally. And don't just passively read.
Oh, no. You got to be active.
Active reading. What does that look like?
So, like, when you come across a word you don't know, highlight it.
Or write it down.
Yeah. Look it up in the dictionary.
Don't just skip over it.
And then, and this is key,
this is the important part,
try to use that word in a sentence yourself.
Soon after.
Yeah. Because that act of actually using it helps you remember it so much better.
Makes it stick.
Exactly.
And, another thing that I think is really helpful is to to vary what you read.
Oh, for sure.
Right. Don't just stick to one genre.
Mix it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Read fiction.
Read nonfiction.
Read, poetry.
Read news article.
Yeah. Because each genre has its own, kind of vocabulary.
Its own flavor.
Exactly. And, if you're not a big reader,
yeah,
that's okay.
There are other options.
There are. Like what?
Well, think about, comic books.
Oh, yeah.
Or magazines about things you're interested in.
And because you're interested, you're more likely to actually read it.
Exactly. Motivation is key.
Totally, totally. And you know what else is cool? I've been doing this lately.
What's that?
Audiobooks.
Oh, yeah.
I'll listen to an audiobook while I'm following along with the text.
That's a great strategy.
So you're seeing the words, you're hearing the words.
You're getting that double exposure.
And you're also, picking up on pronunciation.
Yeah, the rhythm of the language.
So you're getting, triple the benefit.
Totally. Yeah.
So, okay, reading, great. Yeah. What else?
Well, let's move on to some more active learning techniques.
Okay. Active learning. This is where, we really get involved, right?
Yeah, we're taking charge of our vocabulary.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to take charge.
So one really powerful technique is what we call a word journal.
A word journal. I love that. What is that exactly?
So it can be a physical notebook, or a digital document, whatever works for you.
Right, yeah.
And you basically just write down new words that you come across with their definitions, maybe a phonetic spelling if the pronunciation is tricky.
Right.
And most importantly, an example sentence or two.
Oh, yeah. That's key, seeing it used in context.
Exactly.
And then you can just, flip through it.
Yeah.
Review it.
Regularly.
Make sure those words are sticking.
It becomes your personalized vocabulary bank.
I love that. Okay, word journal. What else?
Okay, next up, we have another classic.
Hit me.
Flashcards.
Flashcards. Oh, yeah, the old school method.
That work.
They do. They do. Why are they so effective?
Well, it's all about active recall.
Active recall. Explain that to me.
So instead of just passively reading a list of words, you're actively trying to remember the word and its meaning.
Okay.
Which forces your brain to work harder.
Makes those connections stronger.
Exactly.
So how do we make good flashcards?
Well, the basic idea is simple. Word on one side, meaning on the other.
Definition.
Synonyms.
Right.
And don't forget that example sentence.
That context is so important.
Absolutely.
And now we have so many cool digital flashcard apps too.
Oh yeah, like Anki and Quizlet.
I love those. And those often use this thing called spaced repetition.
Spaced repetition. It's a super powered way to memorize things.
It's amazing. It's it shows you the words you're struggling with more often.
Yeah.
And the words you know well less often.
So it's optimizing your study time.
It's so smart.
It is.
And another thing that I think is really helpful with flashcards is to group them by theme or category.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea.
Right.
Yeah.
So you could have a set for vocabulary related to food,
travel,
emotions,
whatever you're interested in.
Yeah, because then you're not just memorizing isolated words.
Right.
You're seeing the connections between them.
You're building a web of meaning.
Exactly. Okay, flashcards. Awesome. What else? What else can we do to actively build our vocabulary?
Hey, this one is super important.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to use the new words you learn.
Oh, yeah, that's crucial.
In real conversations. Don't wait until you feel perfect.
Make mistakes.
Exactly. Mistakes are how we learn.
It's true. It's the more you use a word, the more comfortable you become with it.
It becomes part of your active vocabulary.
Exactly. And you know what else is really helpful? I've found this to be true for myself.
What's that?
Try to explain a new word to someone else.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Teach it to a friend.
Because when you have to explain something, you have to really understand it yourself.
It forces you to, process it on a deeper level.
It's that's when the learning really happens.
It's true. It's true. And, we should probably say this too.
What's that?
Building vocabulary takes time.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly. Don't get discouraged if you don't see results overnight.
Celebrate those small wins.
Yeah. Even if you just learn 5 new words a day.
Yeah.
That adds up over time.
It does.
Okay, so we've talked about reading. We've talked about active learning techniques. What about technology?
Oh, technology can be such a powerful tool for vocabulary building.
It's amazing. I mean, there are apps for everything now.
There are.
Vocabulary building apps.
Oh, yeah, tons of them. Jingo, Memrise.
Yes. I love those.
And they make it fun.
They do. They have games. They have quizzes.
Challenges.
They make it feel less like work, you know?
Exactly. It's all about making it engaging.
And you know what else? Podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
We have to mention podcasts.
We're on one right now.
Exactly. Like listening to podcasts in English is such a great way to expose yourself to
Natural language?
natural language
Uh-huh.
and, different accents,
Different speaking style.
vocabulary and context. It's fantastic.
It is. And what's cool about podcasts is
Yeah.
you can pause, rewind, listen to sections again.
That's true. You have that control.
And try to repeat the words you hear.
Yeah. Work on that pronunciation.
Exactly.
And then, of course, we have movies,
Oh, yeah.
TV shows,
YouTube videos.
all in English.
Endless possibilities.
And the cool thing about those is you can
watch with subtitles.
watch with subtitles at first. Yeah.
Yeah.
To help you connect the spoken word with the written word.
And then, as you get more comfortable, turn those subtitles off.
Challenge yourself.
Exactly.
And this one might surprise people.
What's that?
Music.
Oh, yeah. Music is amazing for language learning.
It is. I mean, think about it. You're hearing new vocabulary
Uh-huh.
in a fun, catchy way,
It's memorable.
and you can sing along.
Yeah, which helps with pronunciation and fluency.
Totally. And
Uh-huh.
you can actually look up the lyrics
Oh, yeah.
and really study them.
Understand the meaning. It's
Yeah.
like a secret weapon.
And even playing video games in English can be helpful.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, a lot of video games have really complex storylines
Yeah.
and dialogues,
So you're exposed to a ton of vocabulary.
and it's fun.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like work.
And if you play multiplayer games,
Oh, yeah.
you can even practice your speaking with other players.
Real-time practice.
Totally.
Okay, so technology, amazing. But we can't forget about
The real world.
the real world,
Yeah.
real-life practice.
Yeah.
That's ultimately where it all comes together, right?
Exactly.
So what are some ways that we can immerse ourselves in English
Uh-huh.
and practice our vocabulary in the real world?
Well, I think one of the best things you can do is try to join an English-speaking community,
Okay, yeah.
whether it's online or in person.
Right.
Find a language exchange partner
Oh, yeah, those are great.
or a conversation group.
Meetups.
Yeah, meetup.
And those are specifically designed for people who are learning English.
Exactly. So it's a safe space to practice.
Yeah. Everyone's in the same boat.
Yeah.
No judgment.
Then you can learn from each other.
And, if you're not quite ready for a full-on conversation group,
Yeah.
you can even just try to incorporate more English into your daily life.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Keep a journal in English.
That's a great idea.
Write about your day, your thoughts, your feelings.
And try to use those new words you're learning.
Yeah, make a conscious effort to weave them in.
It's like a workout for your vocabulary.
And, even something as simple as visiting tourist areas in your own city
Yeah.
can be helpful.
How so?
Well, you're likely to encounter English speakers there,
Ah, sure.
and you might even pick up some slang or common expressions.
The kind of language you hear in everyday conversations.
Exactly. And, another fun way to practice is
What's that?
role-playing.
Oh, yeah. Role-playing is awesome.
It's so helpful, and it can be really fun too.
Yeah.
You can practice ordering food at a restaurant,
Asking for directions.
going to the doctor,
Yeah.
having a job interview
All those real-life situations.
in a safe, low-pressure environment.
Exactly.
And, I think the most important thing to remember about all of this is
What's that?
just be patient.
Yeah. Be kind to yourself.
It's a process. It takes time.
And don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Every mistake is a learning opportunity.
It really is.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot of different ways to build vocabulary,
We have.
but I think it's important to kind of zoom in on a couple of these.
Okay.
And really get into the nuances.
The nitty-gritty.
The nitty-gritty, yeah. So let's start with reading again,
Okay.
because I think a lot of people kind of take reading for granted.
They do.
Oh yeah, reading's important, but they don't really
They don't think about how to make the most of it.
exactly.
Yeah.
So what are some specific strategies for using reading to really boost your vocabulary?
Well, as we said before, start with material that you're interested in.
Right. If you're not interested, you're not going to read it.
It's gotta be engaging.
And then as you get more comfortable, you can gradually increase the difficulty,
Yeah, challenge yourself a little bit.
but don't overwhelm yourself.
No, start small.
And this is something I've learned recently.
What's that?
It's not just about learning individual words.
Oh, right.
It's also about learning phrases
Yeah.
and collocations.
Collocations, big word.
What What are collocations? Explain that to me.
So collocations are words that often go together,
Okay.
like make a mistake.
Take a break.
Exactly. So when you read, pay attention to those word combinations.
That's how you start to sound more natural.
More fluent.
And, this might be a controversial tip, but
I'm intrigued.
I actually think it's helpful
Yeah.
to try to guess the meaning of a word from context
Okay.
before looking it up.
Interesting. Why do you think that's helpful?
Because it forces you to, really think about the word and how it's being used.
And make connections to the words you already know.
Exactly. And even if you guess wrong,
Which you probably will sometimes.
which you probably will sometimes,
Yeah.
the act of thinking about it helps you remember it better.
Makes it stick.
And then once you've made your guess, then you look it up
Yeah.
and confirm or, correct yourself.
And then write it down.
Write it down in your word journal.
Exactly.
And don't try to learn too many words at once.
No, that's a recipe for overwhelm.
Right. It's better to really focus on a few words at a time and learn them deeply.
Quality over quantity.
And review them regularly.
Repetition is key.
And another thing that I think is really helpful is rereading.
Oh, rereading. Yeah, that's a good one.
It might sound kind of boring,
Yeah.
but going back to a text you've already read
Huh?
can really help solidify those words in your memory.
Because you're seeing them again in context.
And you might even pick up on nuances that you missed the first time.
You might understand it on a deeper level.
Exactly.
And don't forget about reading aloud.
Oh, yeah. Reading aloud, it's so helpful for pronunciation.
And it helps you internalize the rhythm of the language.
Just like you're engaging more of your senses.
You're seeing the word, you're saying the word, you're hearing the word.
Totally. Totally. And, we talked about varying what you read in terms of genre, but I think it's also good to vary, the format.
Oh, yeah.
Don't just stick to books.
Read online articles.
Blog posts.
Social media content.
Yeah, because those often use more contemporary language.
More conversational language.
Okay, so reading. We can talk about reading all day.
We could.
But let's move on to flashcards again.
Okay, back to the flashcards.
Because I think flashcards are one of those that people either love them or they hate them.
They do.
But I think if you use them effectively,
Uh-huh.
they can be incredibly powerful.
They can.
So what are some pro tips for maximizing the effectiveness of flashcards?
Well, we already talked about spaced repetition.
Right. Use an app that does that for you.
Yeah, it takes the guesswork out of it.
And, another thing that I think is really helpful is to categorize your flashcards.
Oh, yeah. We talked about that.
By theme.
By theme.
So you could have a set for vocabulary related to technology.
Another one for personality traits.
Emotions.
Whatever you're learning about.
Yeah, because then it's easier to see the connections between the words.
And it makes the learning more meaningful.
And, this is a fun one.
I like fun ones.
Add pictures to your flashcards.
Oh, yeah. Visuals are so powerful.
Especially if you're a visual learner.
It helps you remember the word better.
And you can even record yourself saying the word.
Oh, yeah.
And add that audio to the flashcard.
That's great for pronunciation practice.
And then you can listen to it.
Yeah.
And repeat it.
It's like you're creating your own little language lessons.
And, this might seem obvious, but
What's that?
make sure you're using example sentences on your flashcards.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't just have the word and the definition.
No, you need to see how the word is used in context.
Because that's how you're actually going to use it in real life.
Exactly.
And, this is a more personal tip, but
Okay. I like personal tips.
try to connect the words you're learning
Uh-huh.
to your own experience.
Oh, yeah. Make it personal.
Create a little story in your head.
Or a mental image.
Yeah, something that will help you remember the word.
Because our brains are better at remembering things that are meaningful to us.
Exactly.
So if you can connect a new word to something that you already know and care about, it's more likely to stick.
It's true. It's true. And, flashcards are great because they're
Portable.
portable. You can take them anywhere.
So on the go.
On the bus, on the train.
Waiting in line.
Yeah, you can just whip out your flashcard.
Get a little vocabulary boost.
Anytime, anywhere.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit.
Okay, where are we going?
Let's talk about vocabulary journals and music.
Okay. I love vocabulary
Oh,
journals.
they're great.
Because it's a way to really internalize the words.
Yeah, you're processing them more deeply.
You're not just passively reading them.
You're writing them down.
You're thinking about them.
You're creating connections.
And you can go back and review them.
track your progress.
It's so satisfying, like flipping through your journal and being like, wow, I've learned so many words.
It's like a tangible record of your growth.
It is. It is. And then music.
Music. Oh, music is such a fun way to learn.
It's amazing. I mean, I always tell people,
Yeah.
if you want to improve your English, listen to music.
It's so effective.
Because you're exposed to like everyday language,
Slang,
idioms,
natural pronunciation.
and it's catchy.
It's memorable.
You're more likely to remember those words because they're set to a melody.
It's like your brain just absorbs them effortlessly.
It does. It does. And, you know, a fun tip for using music to learn vocabulary is to
What's that?
try to transcribe the lyrics.
Oh, that's a good one.
Like, listen to the song and write down the words as you hear them.
It's a great listening exercise.
It forces you to really focus on the words.
And it helps you connect the spoken word with the written word.
And, of course, sing along.
Oh, yeah. Sing your heart out.
Don't be shy.
It's the best way to improve your pronunciation and fluency.
I know.